Hello and welcome to a Blender tutorial. My name is Gabriel, and in this tutorial we're gonna try to make this picture. It's gonna be a two-part tutorial. In first part we're gonna model and give some materials to the objects. In the second part we're gonna try to apply some texture and make some composite. I use Blender version 2.7. You can use a previous version, but I recommend you to use the same version because in the second part of the tutorial we're gonna use the mist pass, and this is functional since this version 2.7. With that being said, we're gonna start a new project. Control N. We're gonna delete the cube. We select X, delete. From the top view 7, Shift A plane, add a plane. Tab to go to edit mode. Apply a loop cut. Control R. We're gonna delete all the vertices that you saw except these two. We're gonna apply a subdivide. We're gonna position the new vertex as I did. I would like to say that this is not a beginner tutorial. This is more like medium to advanced users. I'm gonna jump to different processes, so don't expect to explain every time what I did. I apply a subdivide again. With those new vertices I extrude them, extrude. Select those vertices again, extrude again. We're gonna position the vertex, try to position a vertex according to me. Select the edge vertices and gonna extrude them in the top. This is gonna be the walls of the buildings. Delete this face from this is gonna be a balcony or something. In wireframe mode, wireframe view actually, I'm not satisfied with the light. I'm gonna make it a sun, reposition. This is not a recipe. This is only my taste, my option. You can make everything you want. May make mistakes, so don't take this to be I don't know, something that this have to be done or something like that. I'm gonna increase the energy. I'm gonna delete the top part of the balcony. Okay, top face. I'm gonna apply a loop cut. Control R. I'm gonna apply a loop cut again. from the bottom part we're gonna extrude those parts that just been made in the exterior. We're gonna make a crease or something like that. We're gonna try to make the windows now, where I apply a loop cut, actually 4 loop cuts with scroll mouse, scale it on the x-axis. Okay, I'm gonna go in, gonna preview what I just done. Like I said you before, we're gonna extrude those parts in the y-axis to give some depth. We're gonna do the same thing with the top faces that we just look at it. We're gonna try to give it the same width, but doesn't matter for now. For now it's okay. We can continue to make the windows, select those 2 faces, extrude them in inwards on the y-axis like that. We're gonna try to make a separate part with that selected, Shift D, and for duplicate I duplicate that face. I'm gonna take it forward to see it again. I'm gonna try to model the frame of the window. It's not something very complicated, it's just something rudimentary that's gonna look like a window frame. For this tutorial and what you're gonna try to do, I say that it's okay. We're gonna apply 3 loop cuts. I'm gonna scale it around the x-axis. We do the same on the z-axis with 2 loop cuts. I jump a few steps, but you can continue from here. I apply a loop cut there or loop cut here, doesn't matter. If you had a face right there, you just apply 1 loop cut for that and 1 loop cut for this part. I delete that faces from mistake, but doesn't matter right now, it's okay. Select those vertices and press F to make a face. With that being said, Control L, and from the side view extrude them inwards to give them some depth, and that is the window frame. I'm happy with that. I'm going to select all the link vertices and move the window frame in its position. Shift D to duplicate it and move it on the other window. Okay, like that. We're gonna inspect the model to see if there are some things that are not quite on their place, but it thinks that it's okay right now. I'm gonna position the camera and make a render preview to see how it looks. I'm going to transfer increase the energy of the lamp, of the sun lamp. Okay. Okay. I select these vertices. I'm gonna snap the cursor to that vertex. Shift S to snap menu and cursor to selected, and Shift A. I'm gonna apply a cylinder. I'm gonna select a cap fill type nothing. Okay, I'm gonna scale it. I'm gonna try to make in the balcony a frame, metal frame, a metal. I don't know exactly how it's called in English. Excuse my English, I'm not a native speaker. Romanian is my native language, so I have this tutorial also in Romania, and if you try to see them, it's okay. I'm not quite happy with the width of the size of this cylinder. We're gonna try to make something like a pipe, like a frame, like a pipe frame or something. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna select the bottom parts of the cylinder. Shift Alt A to select all parts, and I'm gonna grab it on the Z axis accordingly. This is not a precise modeling, so for the purpose of this tutorial we don't have to model very precise. I Shift D, duplicate the dough cylinder 4 times. I'm gonna try to position them as equal one from another as possible. After that, I'm gonna apply a plane. This is gonna be a window plane, which is gonna be between those pipes. I gonna put this plane. I'm gonna scale it a little bit and try to make it to fill 3 times in this space. After this, I'm gonna move those cylinders, yes, accordingly to this planes. I need to move the first plane also, and the second one. Alright, it's not perfect, but I'm happy with this. I'm gonna select this cylinder. I'm gonna Shift D, duplicate it, and rotate it around the y-axis 90 degrees, and move it on the top of those cylinders. It's gonna be the top pipe of the balcony frame. I'm gonna move those cap to the extremely right and extremely left. Okay, with the last been selected, Shift D E extrude and rotate around the Z 45 minus 45 degree, and position it as good as possible to extrude it again, rotate it again around the z-axis with minus 45 degrees. We're gonna select all these rings here, and we're gonna try to position them as good as possible to feel the pipe beneath. Okay, I'm happy with this. As I said earlier, it doesn't have to be perfect. I select this ring and extrude it around the y-axis. And move it a little bit more. Alright. Same thing on the other side. I just move a vertex. I don't know when and how. I'm gonna put it back again. Alright. Alt Shift and left click to select edge. Extrude him, rotate around the z-axis 45 degrees this time. 45, alright. And position accordingly with the previous corner, as we did in previous corner. Okay, extrude it again, rotate 45 z-axis, and move it as I just did. We need to give it a little back. Okay, select all these rings and put it on top of the pipe beneath, cylinder beneath. Extrude this ring on the y-axis as we did in the other side. Try to make it the same length. I'm gonna use those reference line, but it's not gonna be seen though in this place, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna extrude those plane. I'm gonna position first at between those cylinders. I'm gonna scale them around the Z, around the Z. Scale around the Z, Z, Z. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with this. I move a little bit on the Z-axis up, and from the right side I'm gonna extrude it on the y-axis. Okay, this is gonna be glass, as I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna select the top part of the pipe, and I'm gonna duplicate it, Shift D, and move it beneath those planes, those three planes. Okay. Okay, it looks okay in my opinion. It's not perfect, but it's okay. I'm gonna select that plane. I'm gonna duplicate it, Shift D, and rotate it around the Z 90 degree. We're gonna make the on the side planes to fill those gaps between the balcony and the walls. I'm gonna duplicate this again and move it on the other side, Shift D, and move it on the other side. Okay, make a render preview to see how it looks. It looks okay for what we're trying to do. Next step, what to do next step. I'm gonna apply a mirror to see how it looks. Okay, we're gonna try to make a corner of the building, and after that to mirror it on two different axes to make the whole floor of one building one level, to make a level of the building. We need to have a corner, and with that corner to be mirror it on X and Y axis. I jump a few steps as you see. I make another window. You can make it, it's not very complicated. Follow the beginning steps and it's not very complicated. I apply a mirror modifier on the y-axis. I applied that mirror. I gonna select this mirrored part and try to position it as good as possible to make a corner of the building as we speak earlier. I try to position as good as possible, and after that I gonna merge those vertices. I need to mention that this is my method to do it. You can do it as you want. I don't know. This is my method, and this is how I did it. I don't say that it's perfect, but this is how I did it. Okay, as I said, I'm gonna select those vertices and merge them at the first part of the wall. Alt M, merge at last. Alright. Select the right parts, and then select the left parts and merge at the last, which is the left part. Okay, so do that for all the vertices on this axis when these walls are coming together. And after that we try to reconstruct this corner. You see, we're gonna extrude the part and make some faces. Merge those vertices as we did on the top. Left click, Alt A at last, and one more left. Select those and Alt A, merge Alt M, Sorry, not Alt A, Alt M. After that, we're gonna try to reconstruct the corner as we said earlier. We're gonna select an edge on the corner of the building and extrude it around the y-axis. Auto perspective mode in 2.7 is not very friendly. I don't know. I'm not gonna used to that very soon. Okay. Extrude it around the Y. Move it like I did. Okay. And try to make the missing faces. Okay. Select those vertices F to make face. Select those F. And the bottom one, select those F. And we're gonna delete, we're gonna make in face mode, and gonna delete those faces that are inside that are not gonna be seen, so we don't need them. Okay, and on the bottom part, the same technique. Select those faces and select those faces from the front view, extrude them around the Y. And we're gonna make those faces as we did on the top, on the wireframe mode. This we can make it in solid view, but now we need to go in wireframe view. Make that face, and delete those faces inside. X faces. Okay, now we have the corner. We have a corner of the building. We are now ready to apply some modifiers. I think so. I inspect the building to see if anything is where it should. I'm gonna make a floor for this corner of the building and try to scale it as good as possible to fill beneath this corner of the building. I'm gonna drag it down a little bit, and I think it's okay for now. we can come back again and, I don't know, move its skeleton. Let's apply those mirror around the X first, mirror again around the Y axis, and now we have a level of the building, first level of the building. Okay. Looks okay, not perfect. Let's apply an array modifier, not around the X but around the Z. Okay, and count them 4 times more. How many floors to have? I don't know, 11 or more. Let's see how it's rendered. Okay. Let's apply more floors. 16. I think there are enough. I don't know if the clipping is gonna do something now. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I think it's more than enough. Okay, with that being said, let's go to the next part. Let's go to the part where we're gonna try to make on the balcony. We need to fill those parts because they're gonna look bad. I observed that when I apply the array modifier. I make those faces, and with the faces from the front view, I'm gonna extrude it to go outside from balcony. It's gonna be like a small roof for all the balconies, and it's gonna continue on every level of the building, let's say. Sorry for the mic bumps. Okay, I'm gonna move those vertices to match the top ones. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, of the building. So let's start. Select the vertices and create face F. Select the other ones. And make face. Create the front face F and extrude it around the x-axis. Yes. We need to grab it more a little bit. on the x-axis. Let's position those bottom vertices accordingly. Oops. Wireframe mode. Alright. Position it like this. And I think it's enough. It's good to go now. Let's apply that array modifier to see if all looks okay. Let's apply all the modifiers. And I think it's okay for now. Let's make a render preview to see how it looks. I'm gonna apply a material for the building. You don't have to use the same. I'm gonna use the cycle render. Use nodes, diffuse, give them a name. I don't know. I call that walls in Romanian. Pereți. Sorry. And let's assign the material. After we assign them, let's make the window material. Select all the windows and those planes. That's gonna be window also. Select only those planes, not the walls. With all the window being selected, we're gonna create a new material. It's gonna call it glass, and gonna give him a sign and type of shade that is gonna be glass. The color is gonna be a tinted blue. Okay, let's see how it looks now. It looks nice, in my opinion. Not perfect, but okay. Let's apply a material for the frame there from those pipes. It's gonna look metallic, so let's select them first. Okay, with all pipes selected, we're gonna create a new material. We're gonna call them metal or wherever you want. Use a glossy shader, glossy BFDF. Give them a grayish color. Alright. And we forgot to assign it. Assign it first. Don't do like me. And we're gonna play with the roughness. Now it's a perfect mirror, I think. Alright, I'm happy with this 0.2 roughness. We're gonna apply wall sky texture for the background in wall settings. Okay, I found it. To have something to reflect on those windows, and it looks like window, I say. Let's prepare it to render. Let's give it 50 samples. Let's position the camera first. Let's go in solid view. So go to tab to go to object mode and try to select the camera. Try to position accordingly to the reference photo. I'm gonna make a constraint for the camera. I use .mt for control the camera. I'm gonna use the damp track constraints for the camera. And now if I move the camera, it's it's gonna look always on this empty. The advantage of this constraint is that you can still rotate the camera, but it's always gonna be looking at that reference point. At me is the empty. Okay. Let's give now material for the window frames. Let's select all the Windows frames. We shift select. It all been selected. Let's go to the material menu and create a new material. Let's give it a name like window frame. Assign it, and we're gonna go to node editor to make a mix shader. Let's close those menus with N and T. We're gonna use the diffuse shader, and also I'm gonna use a glossy shader. I'm gonna mix them with the mix shader. Let's use the render preview here to see how it's gonna affect our material. Let's try to get the closest possible, but on the side with the light, not on the other side. We are on the. Let's add the mix shader, connect the glossy shader and bottom one, and let's jump to the side where the light affect the most. Okay, let's try to increase or decrease the factor. Okay, I think it's quite nice how it looks. Doesn't have to look perfect. I keep on telling you that from the beginning of the tutorial. With that being said, I see that we have a little mistake here. There is a gap between the floors. We need to increase the factor from array modifier. Let's try to decrease it. 2.9 is too much, I think. Let's increase it a little bit. 0.95. Let's save it and give it a render to see how it looks. And I think that's it for the first part of the tutorial. I hope you like it. Leave me comments if you do so, or if you don't like it, you can leave me comments also. in the second part we're gonna try to apply some textures, and gonna make some compositing. See you.